Bottom, bottom, bum, bum, bottom, bottom. Oh my goodness. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Welcome to my channel. I am the Mermaid. I was having so much fun and recorded some shorts, and I was uploading the shorts. Okay. I was able to successfully upload one of the shorts, and it's about Mermaid Psi Pi. Okay, I am the president and the founder of the newest sorority. Okay, we have one person in the chat. Welcome. How you doing? Anyway, like I said, I was uploading my videos, and lo and behold, certain people don't like that Mermaid is confident. They don't like that Mermaid has her shit together. Well, that's too bad. Okay? I had the idea, let me tell you how this all comes about, because so many times in our communities, we are only fed false information, and on top of that, we're only fed bits and pieces so that we cannot make informed decisions. Now, Spirit was giving downloads of what's coming down the pike. Let me take a sip of water. What's coming down the pike for Black Greek organizations, and also the sporting programs at HBCUs. And I was asking, I said, well, Spirit, what in the world does anything happening on those campuses have to do with me? And Spirit said, a lot of the men who had very high positions in certain Masonic groups that had access, they partnered with people in the federal government and on the state level to receive grants. Okay, they were aware of, they were partnering with, it doesn't sound right. They were part of the school, I don't know, where they deal with the grants. Some of them were in finance, some of them, they worked with the different organizations on the state and the federal level that awarded these huge sporting grants and funding, and also some of them were corporate for the schools. Now, people love to say, again, I ask, what does this have to do with me? Let me tell you, I am so well known across not only these United States, but the world, because I have one of the most unique energy signatures. In fact, they have been using my energy as collateral to fund their sporting programs. And also to fund, they were using my, oh God, okay, so I understand now. They were using my, United States government, was using my energy as collateral to the Chinese government to fund the U.S. military and the Defense Fund, and NASA. And NASA has a secret facility in Antarctica that they will have to close very, very shortly. And on top of that, you've been operating and dissecting aliens up there. Some of them human, that look human, and some of them don't. And there's a particular space thing. I don't know what to call it. It looks like a huge blob. It has to live in water. And when I was a child, it was sent to Earth to find me. And when I was a little girl, between 7 and 10, that thing was searching all over the island looking for me. And I could telepathically talk to it then. I can speak to it and I understand it. And so they sent a message, but I remember, and if you are around my age and you grew up on the island, you could even go back to old newspapers, and they talk about, because when I inquired as a child, they said that the government came, the feds, I don't know if it was CIA, whomever came and took it. I don't know how they would take that thing because it had to be in a solid container. But they've been trying to understand what it does and who sent it. But you've been harming that thing. And it sent me a message. It doesn't matter how far, you could put it in a lead box. It sent me a telepathic message. And it also sent a message to the Galactic Federation. And they're not talking about that, but the Galactics are here. And they don't take too kindly. You violated law. You can't just capture and hurt and imprison. That's what they wanted to do with us aliens. Treat us like POWs? I don't know what they call them. Prisoners of war, POWs. And it's absolutely crazy. Now, those of you, there are some subhumans here, and they're typing some stuff, and I guess they want me to stop what I'm doing and interrupt and get down from my beautiful throne to address. It's a no. Anywho, that's a something. Antarctica, the labs and whatever they have in Antarctica have been subsidized with monies from China, which have been stopped because they couldn't use me, they couldn't get me, they couldn't lock me up. You know, they wanted to lock me. They wanted me to date some loser and have him take my energy. That's a no. They wanted to put false charges against me and throw me in a jail cell. That's a no. They wanted to have me go into an asylum and siphon my energy. See, okay, let me tell you one of the ways that the world governments have been, how they get your energy. Okay, so let's say somebody is physically ill. What they do is they put them in a coma. Okay, they put them in a coma and then they do spell work and they use this person's energy on the astral plane. Yes, and if they could have gotten me, baby, ooh-wee, my energy, so they literally receive millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars, with the hopes that the Chinese government wanted to experiment. Well, all of these pussy ass men who are bitch made, like they said, don't ask my neighbors, come to me, don't be afraid. Yes. I'm not a motherfucking cow. Okay? Look at here. With teats. Absolutely. No. And let me tell you something. The Chinese government's scared AF. The Chinese government is scared AF. Because so the cockroaches that raised and their whoring cockroach family, they had connections with the FBI or the CIA or whatever, and they lied to these people and they say, oh, she's a deranged prostitute, and so we could gang stalk her, isolate her, you know, play with her money, her life, whatever. Um, and you know, all of the men, again, this is why you have to have duality of a man that's ruling and a woman in tandem. But the Chinese government is, at least those, they're smart enough to realize everything that you people have been lying to the world about black women. Ooh, y'all going to the upper room, yes. Gonna be some slow singing, yes. Uh-huh. Gonna be some slow singing and flower bringing. Not only my ancestors and my galactic family are here. And I'm royalty. You don't do that. They will go to war for gang stalking me and making me cry even once is an act of war for a royal citizen. You don't ever do that. Huh? So that is the background, okay, of why a lot of schools. So when you hear in the fall, or where are we, March Madness, we're getting ready to get around that. So even now, people are getting ready to lie and scramble and come up with, press conferences, and they're going, blah, blah, blah. It's because they don't have any more money. And they shan't be getting any more money because they shan't get me. Listen, I'm sitting so pretty right now, y'all. I'm telling you, God put everything in place. All the players who have been hiding and hurting black women and other women from other cultures and ethnicities around the world, all the players have been exposed. And they all have an energetic signature. And the galactics don't ask questions, they take hits. And just while I was recording my beautiful shorts, Spirit was telling me that there's a school in a southern state and they're hurting. They're hurting because not only were they receiving funds through the government and the state, but that money was really coming from China, not from taxpayers' money, because all the money from the IRA, child, that stuff is spent up. That money has to go elsewhere because they owe money. They owed money before while they were using energy as collateral. So what are they going to do now? I heard a couple of years ago, someone said so beautifully, we don't need any more ball players. I think anything that people do from their heart and they do well is a beautiful thing. What we no longer need is turning a blind eye and making excuses for poor behavior of athletes. Now that we don't need. We need teams where we go one season in NBA where there's no fighting. That's what we need. Do you understand? That's what we need. yes, if God gave you the talents to, I love track and field. Oh my gosh, and he happens to be from Jamaica. There's a young man, his name I don't recall, but he is he even 17, and he has already beaten some of Usain Bolt's records. Yes, we want that baby to run. Absolutely. So yeah, I think with people this we no longer want to accept the status quo. Yes, but we need higher echelon of everything, from groceries to our interactions in the store. You know, when somebody goes into a store, they should feel safe and seen. They should be greeted, and you're from the time you walk into your store, any store, and you're greeted until your checkout, it should be a positive experience. And you don't have to be a black person to certainly be on my channel or watch, but a lot of us know, for some reason, in black communities, people feel that the service should be is no, excuse me, not it is, maybe they feel it's okay for it to be subpar, for you to just, I'll get to you when I get to you, but I'm paying my money, you know. Um, yeah, the whole idea of status quo is going away, is 100% going away. Okay, and to the young men and women who might presently be on sporting scholarships, I'm gonna tell y'all, for some reason, I'm gonna tell y'all the truth. Unless you're a junior, I don't know, but quite a few people are going to have to rethink um, where they are in life and where they want to be, because the world as we know it, baby, it's ever changing. And I remember 2 years ago, I've been on YouTube 2 years now, and when I first started, I would record and then upload, and my lighting wasn't even, and this lighting is okay, it's not super great, but I understand. Spirit gave me an insight as well today as to why they wanted me to start the channel. Okay, and I get it. And I'm so happy. I'm so glad you're here. I'm so glad you're here. Okay. So HBCUs are, you know, maybe they'll have to reduce their sporting program, or I don't know what they're going to do, but we're mighty people. We can do anything. I'm just being honest. We can do anything. And if we put our hearts and our hands together, then forget about it. Forget about it. I would like to, oh my gosh. And so I believe it's on a, I believe it's this coming Sunday, but March 18th is a new moon. And go out there and get a plant. You can get two. You can have one, you can buy a plant that's already sprouted, like, I don't know, like a peppermint or something, but then get some seeds and plant something and watch it grow. It was in one of these cards. Yes, watch something grow. It is a beautiful thing. Spring is coming, and we have a new moon, and write out a petition. What is a petition? Really, it's just taking a piece of paper. I'll just discard, just taking a piece of paper and writing what's in your heart. What are the three most urgent, potent desires that you have right now? That's for you, not world peace and blah blah blah. For you, and then you put your date on it. You write those three things, and put it near your plant. If you live with other people, if you live alone, then do it that way. But if you don't, just tuck this someplace, and then by the full moon, go ahead and look and see what has transpired in that time. What has transpired in that time? And so, yeah, I talked to some women, and they're like, well, Mermaid, we need to be outside. And a couple of the ladies, they're like, well, let us assist you in selecting this male only. This is a one of a kind, a male only sorority. Applications start at 1,500. They're non-refundable. You will receive a fillable PDF. My friend who is a physician said that she wants to conduct physicals on all the men. She wants to see how they're hanging. When it's hanging, she said she wants to know how they're hanging. Are they hanging to the left? And do they have a little weight on it? I said they have to volunteer for that. She's like, well, we'll see. We'll put a clause in there. I'm like, no, that's what they did to us when we were younger. No clauses. Most of them won't mind. Most of them won't even mind having a beautiful woman tell them to cough once or twice. But on a serious note, I may have mentioned a little bit earlier, I literally had about 100 men in my auric field. In our aura is our auric field, and I put a spell of protection around me. A man, it doesn't matter, man. Gender does not matter, nor skin color. No one is allowed to come onto my live, masturbate to my picture, my video, pull on my energy in any way. I might know they're there, but they cannot pull or siphon my energy. And a lot of these men are bewildered. They've been in these Masonic groups. They've been in these Greek groups, since university, and they've benefited from, being a member of these groups. And then all of a sudden, in a way, they've just disbanded. But these men are socially awkward that, instead of getting to know a woman and respecting her and value, treating her according to her value, they would rather send in one of their bros. And most of these men are gay. They're all married, but they're all gay, okay? Because the way that they share energy is through anal activity, or they masturbate by themselves or in a group. And they can't siphon, and they don't know what to do. So some of them try to pictures and stuff, and they got a blowback. And I just want to say to some of you men, quite a few of you are on ED medication and on cocaine. You use cocaine, you're on ED medication, you're taking medication for hypertension. These are not good combinations for your heart, and you don't look after your health, and you drink too much. You guys are not good candidates. You're eliminated. What is it? You're fired. Absolutely. You guys, all of these men who are married that I just spoke about, they're married, and they probably married women from college or university, and they've tied a cord to her, and they put a really strong love spell. So no matter how much they mistreat her or cheat on her or step out or whatever they do, and they also do that to hide their gayness. She sees them as a knight in shining armor when they're really a gremlin. And another reason that some of these men, majority of these men are concerned, they have been committing crimes, and the energy that they were receiving, they were able to not be included into indictments in court proceedings. But like I said, all their chips are in, and they have to pay up. They have to pay up their tab. They have been siphoning and pushing their karma off on other people, and no mas, that's not happening anymore. So they're scrambling. They don't want to come. They don't want to be exposed for being gay. They don't want to be exposed for um, um, their offshore accounts. Some of them have families in other countries. They've impregnated, I don't know their family, they've impregnated people in different countries in these passport bros. But you know, the passport bros, I think I mentioned before, was a government funded program that black men willingly signed up for, to go to countries where they have economic disparity. You know, the Philippines is one, Dominican Republic is one, Cuba is one. Those are like, they're like four. Oh, and some Eastern African countries. And they would go there, flash money, and over time they would, and some West African countries too, and they would do love spells on these women, get some of them pregnant, and they would also you know, pay for their housing and stuff like that. And oftentimes they started having intimate connections with them at 14, 15, you know, and then they were teaching them magic, and it was like rapey, dapey. I don't. They were teaching teenagers how to do magic, and they were also prostituting these girls. They would put them in a house. They would buy a house, and then they would find somebody in these countries, and they're pretty much prostituting these girls. But then the woman who was managing it, she made it seem like she was taking in, like she was helping these girls, and it was run by the church. Yeah, I think that was a cover, that it was run by the church. So people, you know, especially in countries like Cuba and in the Philippines and Dominican Republic, they're Catholic based. So they, spirit or whatever. So they taught these. So these girls they would entertain world leaders from around the world sexually, and they also learned magic. And the ones that were the most promising were brought over and given government contracts to do magic on people like myself. Okay, I'm gonna pull some cards. Let's see what comes out. Spirit concerning the HBCUs, the Chinese government, siphoning energy from high priestesses like myself. Give us 3 cards. Okay, one more card. The first card that came out, where's my little thing? The first card that came out, they said that these are, look at here, these are immature men that made these decisions, and they run their life like the government, like a circus. Let's take 2 more. And 2 more came out. Buy a lotto ticket and a good cause. These, I'm telling you, look at here. These are gay men often who are immature, and they were given these positions. These men were given these positions. They don't deserve them, clearly. And a lot of these young ladies, and I don't, this case in the government where everything was redacted, a lot of these girls throughout, probably before they were even 12, were sent to certain islands, you know. Uh, I said I won't say the name on here, but they were sent there to service, the wealthy and the 1%. And, people from the Vatican. Like I said, here's a card. There you go. Plant something and watch it grow. And you can get a popsicle stick and you can write what the plant is. Um, let's take 3 more. Okay, thank you, Spirit. What else can you tell me about these men? Okay, and so, okay, so it just came out. If they decide to release all the information, prominent members of the Black community, the Boule, and, chancellors at the HBCUs are involved, or were heavily involved in the redacted information that came out about what's his name. All right. It says the big tip. I'm telling you, these people made a lot of money from trafficking these children. Okay, so now I'm understanding it. One night, one book. Okay. So it says ticket. These men had to buy a ticket. Okay. They had to buy a ticket and prepay at different locations around the world. They're like, okay, all right, one night only, of course, first and last page, and it was War and Peace. And a lot of these men would pretend that they were going to some kind of world conference, because a lot of world leaders participated in these type of events. Okay, I'm going to wrap this up pretty soon here. Let's take 2 energy. I did a video maybe 6 months ago. There's a Filipino lady who was brought up this way. I don't know if her parents knew. I don't know. But she was promised my energy and she would marry some rich man. And that girl, she's from Pinoy. And she worked very hard to try to end my life. And my ancestors will try just as hard. They won't have to try to end hers. Embrace the in-between. Okay? We know that the flamingo energy, we know that the flamingo, it's somebody isn't showing who they truly are. Again, these people were able to be in flamingo energy because they were able to use our energy to mask their underground tunnels and their bullshit. But yeah, so the flamingo has white feathers, but because they consume so much fish, it turns their outward appearance pink. And that's also a message that a lot of these people, and even some of these, God forbid, children, have the same disease that these nasty bastards gave them. That's what they're telling me. Wolf spirit, turn knowledge into wisdom. That's what I'm doing now. These are, yes, they hunted these children. Dolphin spirit, this and that are true. Number 20, yes indeed. I tell no lies. I tell no lies. Let's see what comes out in tarot and I will close. Okay, so that's where the whole thing came from. The Chinese government came to, and this was before, I mean, everybody can say the current president, they can say what they want, but it wasn't he that made that, it wasn't he that made that contract. No, that contract was in place well before he came along. Now, he was aware of it because, you know, skull and bones and whatever, but he didn't put it in place. That contract for me was put in place when I was a baby. Okay, Spirit, let's see what comes out in the, what can you tell us about the demonic contract between the Chinese government, the USA, and other governments to isolate and siphon the energy from high priestesses, to literally fund the world, the stock market, and everything else, and the HBCUs who were, their sporting programs were funded. They did different contracts for the government, and they moved children around to help the 1% hurt children. Let's take just 5 cards and we'll wrap this up. The first card out is the 9 of Pentacles. And she has a parrot here. Yes. This is my seer card. This is, you know, people with spiritual powers. They went around the world identifying and locating, you know, alien children like myself. What did I say? The peacock is here. What is this one? 8 of Cups. They've followed us every lifetime. They followed our bloodlines to know who we are. And I have Incan blood. So they followed us for a long time. Yes. Okay. They followed the energy of the Sacred Mother, the Black Madonna, Sacred Geometry. 2 more cards, please. They should have let go a long time ago. This is filthy. And to law enforcement, there is I mentioned before, there is a Scottish man who's a ginger. He's very robust. I don't know if he's a professor or if he works for the church, but he is physically walking around with physical evidence of tapes. Of their various ceremonies. Okay. Yes, these people they astral project to children and they erase their memories so they wouldn't forget. They have, what do they call it? Yes, they have they hypnotize these children. But now they are in this place because all of the nasty magic, in addition, is being sent back to them. And our on the bottom, yeah, everything is being sent back. And our final card, please. They're in prison. Who gives a shit? Yes, the galactic, what they've done to the star children, the galactic children will not be tolerated. Okay? And I am a Queen of Swords, and I am telling the gosh darn truth. I'm so disgusted. I was like, why are you showing me HBCUs? And what does this have to do with my energy and the chosen ones and the star children and the indigos? Now, there are 2 parts to this. They receive money, not just the HBCUs, but the governments. They not only did they borrow from El Chino, but in addition, they were working. They were working every angle. They had the children going. They were borrowing from Chino. They were siphoning and using us as a promissory note. And they were also making a side business of working with African practitioners and some of these people from different countries that they brought over and gave government jobs to I don't know what they told the Chinese government, but they hired practitioners in mass to do magic on us once they got the Chinese contract. And then they would dispense people into our neighborhoods and into our cities to um to gang stalk us, to spread rumor, all kind of shit. Work with the local police and do all kind to no avail. To no avail. I hope this helps someone shed a light on what has been happening in our communities, what has been happening to us, okay, and how it affects all of us, okay. Now, I mean, I'm safe 100%. Trust me, 100%. But I honestly don't want anyone else being misrepresented and being lied to. Misrepresented and being lied to. And I just want parents to know, I know the American government says their child is 18 and they're an adult. The word teen is in it. No, baby, between 18 and 21, you need someone you could trust to speak to. Should I date this person? Probably not. Focus on yourself. 18 to 21, be as selfish as you can be with your time, baby. Don't join any Greek organizations. You don't have time. You don't have time, and you shouldn't have anything that wants you to pledge and do all. You don't have time for it. Let them find their own drum major. It shan't be you. I'm going to actually end it here. Um, if you have questions or you'd like to um, get a reading from me, you can definitely message me. My information will be linked below. The more we know, the more we grow. Have a blessed day. Um, Happy Easter. Happy what is it? Ramadan. And if you don't celebrate, that's okay too. Be your authentic self. Okay.